So this is a multiplayer game where I'm going to be demonstrating how you can do custom player movements. So first of all, notice that this is actually a multiplayer game. Let's get the other player in here. So as you can see, there is in fact both of these players running around. They can shoot and all that good stuff as usual. I was demonstrating some of this in a previous tutorial. But today, the purpose of this demonstration is going to be actually showing how you can do custom player movements. To make this easier to see, I'm going to move this camera over. So this is the silver player's camera, right? And I'm moving this camera over so that I'll be able to see it on my other screen. And then here's the other player. This is the black player. So we have silver player and black player, right? So this is the silver player, or the black player now. Notice that the replication of this black player's jumping around is actually replicating correctly. And this tethering system is from a previous tutorial of mine, and now I've set it up to work with multiplayer, and it's actually working. So notice that it's all, and I'm willfully controlling how this player is moving pretty much, and I'm extending the length of the tether to make it longer, and then I can shorten it again. This is all stuff you've seen in a previous tutorial, but this is a custom game mechanic that I'm really demonstrating that you can really make your own custom game mechanics and have it work with multiplayer pretty easily. The main thing I'm showing here is how to set up these custom movements for the pawn, because that can be very complicated. If you look through the code of how it's actually handled by the game engine, saved move positions and all that kind of stuff, it's extremely complicated. But the code I'm providing you is utterly simple, and it does enable you to do what you're seeing me do in this video. Notice how the tether is also being replicated, no matter its length and also its position relative to the player's hand when the player is moving around. But this replicating of the tether is not that complicated. If you do it carefully, see how it's all very smooth? That's because each client is actually replicating replicating the other player's tether. It's not actually being sent across the network. I'm not sending any tethered data across the network. All I'm sending is a single boolean once to say, okay, run all tether calculations, and then each client is running all of the calculations that are required for the pawn on each client. So the server is not actually doing this. Okay, it's hard to explain this. So the silver player, who you're seeing this black player moving around in the screen for, the silver player's computer is actually running all of the black player's tether calculations. The black player is not saying, here's my information, now update. All I did was say once, hey, the black player is tethering, draw the tether in and constantly update it. So the silver player's computer is doing all the work, not the server, and that's why it's so smooth. It's really unnoticeable that this is a network game because of how it's coded. So if you code things carefully and you can do as much calculations client-side as possible, you can get these really smooth effects. This isn't because I'm running this both servers on both clients on my machine. In a previous version of my code, the updating of this tether was not nearly as pretty as it is now. So you really just have to code things very carefully and do as much as you can client side, and you can get very pretty effects. One more time, jumping along. So notice, and I can see the other player. Notice how there's no way I can get on top of this first green thing without tethering, and this is being replicated correctly. Now it shows the silver player sees the black player as being on top. Yay! Hmm? Huh? One more time because it's so entertaining. Let's see. I want to demo. Let's see if I can tether up to that wall over here. Maybe I can do it. I wanna get on top of this other green thing. I don't know if it can be done. Whoa, dizzy. Well, you get the idea, and you can see that this is all being replicated correctly, and it's all very smooth. And it is possible to create your own custom game mechanics and have even complete changes to the way the player can move, as you see here. Enjoy!